Hey guys, so I want to tell you about some of the best money lessons I've received from my parents. As humans, we usually do take a lot of inspiration from the people we spend a lot of time with, and I obviously spent a lot of time in my younger years with my parents, so I think they have influenced me a lot in the way I handle my money. So this is kind of a bit of a shout out to say thank you, Ma and Baba. I see what you guys are doing. Obviously, I didn't always agree with them back then, but now that I'm older and potentially wiser, I see what you guys are doing. So thank you, and let me get into it.
My name is Nokuhle, and I'm a personal finance creator. Some of the videos I've made include how to buy shares, top 10 affordable cars, how to file your taxes, side hustles, interviews, you name it, I've done it. Note, these videos do not constitute financial advice. My aim is to plant the idea, it's up to you to water it.
I've got 9 of these, and the first one is quality first. Whether it's cars, clothing, or education, my parents definitely prioritized quality. They do not go with the hype. They didn't go with what was in fashion, what was in style, what would make them look good. And this is like a very key thing, because think about the cars you usually want to drive. You want to drive a car that everyone will like think you're rich, or you want to send your kids to schools where everyone will think, wow, these people have made it. But my parents kind of didn't listen to the noise. They prioritized quality. They wanted to know, if I buy this car, am I going to be able to use it for a long time, and am I going to have like a good experience with it? If there's an issue, is this a car that I can fix without having to blow the bank or get loans and all of that? When it came to our education, my parents prioritized, okay, look at the funnel. Which schools do they take? Which schools do they feed into? After that, can these kids go to varsity? So they were definitely like long-term thinkers, and that definitely did help us a lot, and I appreciate that. The second money lesson from my parents is doesn't have to be new. Speaks a lot to the first one, where quality is obviously key, but that doesn't have to be new. Is my parents were not shy of showing us that you can reuse or recycle things. You can buy things secondhand, you can thrift your clothes, you can buy a used car, as long as you know the quality that you're getting. Some people do shy away from these things because you want the luxury of saying, oh, you're the first owner. They're like these bragging points that you get when you say you had a brand new car fresh out the box, and I get that. Okay, I've also had a brand new car fresh out the box, and that also happened to be the car that I didn't like. But I think the older I've gotten, the more I value quality and all of that. Like even when it comes to furniture, I have become a Facebook marketplace person where I just scroll, because sometimes I feel like people sell things that are very valuable for a very understated amount, either because they're trying to dispose of it very quickly, or they don't even understand the gold that they really have. Number 3, pass it down the family. When it comes to clothes, gadgets being cell phones or MP3s or PlayStations, once you are done with it, once you are no longer finding that excitement out of it, pass it down to someone else who will actually enjoy it. So I love my brother's fashion sense. Like, they are so cool. Those people are so cool, and they always have the best clothes. But I personally am not going to go and swipe for those clothes, because do you guys know how expensive men's clothing is? Like, I just don't get it. So I always just wait until they get over them, and then I'll wear it one day and they'll be like, why are you wearing my clothes? Then they'll be like, oh, it actually looks good on you. And it's like, oh, you can take it. And and that's just how it is. Unfortunately for them, they can't really use some of my clothes because they're very girly and bright and sparkly. But my mom and I, we also like pass clothes from one another. And it's funny that I'm saying pass down, because one would assume it's from an older person to a younger person, but we definitely do pass up as well, where I give my mom some things because sometimes she really looks better in certain things more than me. So it's like, you know what, actually you can keep it. And this isn't limited to my immediate family. Even with my cousins, we used to swap clothes. Whenever I look at throwback pictures on Facebook, and I'm looking at myself like high school me or primary school me, I'm always like, oh my word, I had borrowed this t-shirt from my cousin, and she had borrowed my jeans, and then these shoes belong to so and so. So it's always so cute, and I just love that, because if I felt like I had a limitless wardrobe, and I feel like our parents didn't mind because they were all like siblings, and the fact that we were just swapping clothes meant that they had to buy us less clothes, because we would exchange change internally. So yeah, keep that spirit alive, guys. I think that's a good thing. Lesson number 4 is no, or not today, or justify why. So my parents did not give into all of our requests as kids, and obviously it kind of makes sense because children want everything they see in the shops. But what I did value is that sometimes it'd be like, not today. So then you knew it's okay, as much as I'm not getting it today, there is a possibility of me getting it in the future. Or they would ask you why. They'd ask you to justify why you think you really need this thing, just to see if you really want it or if you're just influenced by what you've seen recently. And then flat out no. I think hearing no is also really like important for like your growth. If everything you ask for comes to you easily, you kind of don't learn how to push and negotiate. Whereas with me, I have negotiated out of my bum for things that I actually did not need, but my parents got them for me because sometimes I was just that convincing. There's a time where my parents bought me a 600 rand doll, and this was back in 2004. So 2004, and parents are spending 600 rand on a newborn. Wow. Next lesson is open communication, being honest with your kids. So my parents tried to do this, and I'm saying tried because I know my mom once told me a little white lie as a joke or as a thing to just make me keep quiet, but that kind of just stayed in my head forever. But other than that, my parents definitely have tried to be very honest with us, even when it was like really critical societal issues, like, you know, things you'd hear on the radio and you'd ask them. Like, my parents would actually engage you in a proper healthy discussion just so that you understand. And I think I appreciated that because I didn't like being baby. I didn't like being spoken to like a child, where it's like, oh, her brain is too young, she's not gonna understand. No, my parents actually had full-on conversations, and that way I was able to kind of dig in more and investigate more. And I know I'm talking about money lessons, so I feel like I don't know how to translate that to money, but I'm pretty sure that that has helped me some way, somehow. Lesson number 6, stop saying you don't have money. And I know this one was specifically from my mom. So my mom believes that the way you speak about yourself is very important, and I 100% agree with her. I remember she once told my dad many years ago, stop saying awunayo imali. Because we'd ask him for stuff and he'd be like, then mom was like, you know, you saying you don't have money is going to stop you from ever having money. And I think my dad heard that and he stopped. And I can tell you now, they're okay. They're doing pretty well. So yeah, I have taken that. I've even tried to tell my partner, because sometimes when we're in a parking lot and, you know, the car guard is pulling you out, to be like, sorry, I don't have money. And I'll tell him, stop saying you don't have money. Just say thank you, or say I'll see you next time, or say sorry, I don't have cash. Don't say you don't have money, because now you're lying. It's a little white lie, but your brain is listening and your brain doesn't know you're joking. So you're constantly going to feel like you don't have money. So I do not make those jokes about myself. I don't say that stuff about myself. Lesson number 7, send the money in batches. So do a test amount, and if it goes through, then you send the rest of it. This is actually not from my parents, it's from my younger brother Toots, but I'm gonna group it because he is a product of my parents. So when you are sending people money, especially if it's like a big chunk, just do a little test amount to make sure that you've got the right account details, because when you send the wrong person a large amount of money, it is so hard trying to retrieve that. You can literally cry, you can go to the bank and ask them to reverse it and they'll try help, but at the end of the day, it's still you who made the mistake. It's still you who sent it to the person. And I actually saw a TikTok recently where someone was going through this thing, so it was just like, it's obviously very sad, but it's not their fault. The receiver does not have to give it back to you. You sent it to them. Lesson number 8, there's a time for saving and a time for spending. Enjoy life's little moments. I don't think I have to explain this one. I am living. I am enjoying my money. I actually feel like I need to remind my parents of this, because I know they are now slowly going back into the saving portion of life, when I have been encouraging them to spend. Because I told them, like, guys, your kids are fine, like, we are fine. Like, yes, I know you guys want to set us up, but we're fine. I want them to enjoy. But my mom told me they're not really interested in traveling. They're not interested in, like, luxury goods. They just want to have a house and a car and a happy family, and I respect that because they know what makes them happy, and that's a really good thing. And I think that also helped me decipher what makes me happy and what my life goal is. So if you don't know what it is to be an active mom. Okay, once I become a mom, and a very hands-on mom and a happy mom, just know that I have reached my life goal, and there's nothing you can tell me. Okay, you can come at me with your big bank accounts and your beautiful bags, and I do not care. That is great for you, but for me and my house, that's what I want. And the last money lesson that I got from my parents is, do not lose sleep over money. So there will come a time where people around you will seem to have incredible amounts of wealth, and it's like, what did they do? And sometimes people are not really doing things that are legal. Do not fall for that trap. Do not try and get money in a very quick, scammy way. Rather work hard and save slowly and invest slowly, and eventually you'll get to where you want to be. Stable growth is better than like overnight success, because overnight success is, you can fall very, very quickly. So I love that. It's not nice walking around in a place and you're just checking over your shoulder. When you're parking, you have to park in a certain place. When you are sitting in a restaurant, you have to sit in a certain place so that you can have a whole view, because you never know who's following you. That is not the life I want to live. That life doesn't entice me. I only want to see that stuff in the movies, not in my real life. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed my money lessons that I've learned from my parents. Do make sure you're dropping some in the comments, stuff that you've learned from your parents or stuff that you've enjoyed that I've shared. I can't wait to hear from you guys, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.
If you enjoyed this video, please tip me with a like, comment, and subscription.